All right, so last but not least, let's go ahead and do a few things. Let's make sure that whenever we say we want to display text from this person, that we update the UI for the current conversation, just like we did here, by giving it essentially, we can just kind of fake this actually, and this would just be a little bit easier. We can say update UI for current conversation, this exact function right here, and just give it an object that will be called user info with ID equal to the UID and name equal to the user name. And so this will update the app object for us, but we also want to query the database for all the messages between these two people. And both of these queries are a little funky, so bear with me here as I do this. We're going to need a couple functions here, and we're going to pass this data to get user. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and grab also the current user logged in. So app.currentRecipientID is the recipient info, and then the current user would be, and actually we don't need this const.log because it's working anymore. We'll say var, let's say const current user ID is equal to auth.currentUser.uid. And by doing that, we can actually then pass both the recipient ID and the current user ID to two different functions which are going to grab all of the messages. They are getUserSent messages with the UID, with the current user ID, and the recipient ID, and do the same thing for getUserReceived messages. I don't even know if that's how you spell received, but looks good to me. And we'll do the same thing. So we really just need to write two functions that get those messages and display them. And so we'll do that now. So I'd say we write both of those functions inside Firebase. So let's go into Firebase, and let's write those functions down here. Function get the user sent messages, UID recipient ID, and function get user received messages, UID recipient ID. And I think in this case, we can do a few things. We can create queries for both and grab the messages collection in both of them. But now the difference here is that we can actually get each of these queries after specifying where. And what where does is it will filter our queries according to a specific piece of information. And so in the get user sent messages, we want to make sure the sender, the ID of the sender is equal to the recipient or the user ID, whatever user sent those messages. And we also want to make sure where the recipient is equal to the recipient ID. And then we'll get all of them. We want to do the same thing here, but in opposite order. And we want to get and order them by the timestamp descending. And so this is why we need to actually use Firebase timestamps, but we'll get to that in a second. We want to order it by timestamp, and we want it to be descending. And I actually don't know if you need to do that in that order. Let me see where the order by is. Query snapshot, let's see. Let's check if the order by, when you construct the query, cool, this looks good. The where Yes, ordered by, field to sort by, ascending, descending. Yep, that looks great. So we call the get after we've constructed the query. Okay, let's put the get at the end. Beautiful, and we do that with both. And I want you to see if you can complete the rest of this, because you're going to need a dot then. We're going to take the snapshot, and I want to make sure you do a few things here. You're going to do this with both of them. See if you can take that snapshot and get and console.log all of the messages. And if you do that, I think we're pretty much ready to build our app. That's about it. We're getting so close. I know it feels great. To be right there, it feels lovely. So see if you can fill those out, and we will actually, I don't know if we have any more time in today's class to complete this, but tomorrow morning when we get in, we'll just touch this up really quickly. Take this home for homework. See if you can finish this, and when we get in tomorrow, we'll finish this up and see if we want to add any new features to our application. But nice work. I mean, you guys killed it. This stuff is tough. There's so much going on here. So just take it back, see how you did, and just congratulations. I think you've earned it. So great work today. Go ahead and wrap it up, and let me know if you have any questions. I'll Slack out all the code that you need. All right, see y'all later.